There we go. Okay. Let's rock and roll. When humans first landed in New Zealand, they also brought mammal predators such as rats, possums, and stoats, all of which have caused disastrous impacts on the local wildlife. In order to protect the native species, several predator-free islands were established as sanctuaries. Our destination, Tiritiri Matangi Island, is one of these sanctuaries. As a protected area, this island is one of the only places you can see some of New Zealand's most iconic species. In this video, I am taking on the role of a conservation volunteer with the New Zealand Department of Conservation to explore the secret bird paradise and to meet some of the island's mysterious local residents. Alright, so I just had my first meeting with the island rangers and they got my first volunteering task. Here's the wattle track, that is where we are going. So, let's go. My first task as the volunteer is to clean all the water troughs that the birds use to drink and bathe in. Alright, we have arrived in our first location. There's another bellbird. But our job today is to clean these water fountains that the birds use to bath in. To do that, I must first empty the dirty water within, spray the cleaning solution the rangers provided, scrub it clean, rinse it, and refill the water with the taps nearby. Alright, that is one water fountain done. Let's get to the others. We got 11 more to go. So, this is the point where I should probably explain what this video is about. So basically, we are currently at a sanctuary for native New Zealand birds. It is an island called Tiritiri Matangi, and it is here where the Department of Conservation of New Zealand offer a 1-week volunteering program to help with the general maintenance of the island. Originally, I'm supposed to stay on the island for a whole week, but because of New Zealand's very unpredictable weather, the date that I'm supposed to start is also one of the windiest days of the month, which is why the ferry on that day got cancelled, and the volunteering trip got delayed to the 3rd day of the program. But this also works in my favor because the island is a complete protected sanctuary, so you need to bring all your food. Having a 4-day trip instead of a 7 days means that I don't need to bring as many things as I would have. Either way, I'm pretty excited. So, see you guys in a bit. Back to the main road. Oh boy, this is one of the big ones they talk about. Hello, Black Robin, North Island. Want a bath? By the time I finish replacing all the water in the different spots, it is approaching late afternoon. Since it is my first day here, I decided to take it easy, return to the bunkhouse, and properly explore the island tomorrow. Morning guys. We are greeted with the most beautiful morning view. This is our bunk bed last night. Not the comfiest, a little bit narrow for me, but you know, it'll do. Alright, I'm gonna have some coffee and breakfast, and then we'll go meet up with the rangers to see what the task for today is. Well, turns out my work today is to replace the waters again. The second time went a lot smoother, as I now know their locations and how to replace them. Also, living on this island means that I get to explore in the morning, which is another benefit on its own. One thing I gotta say though, the island is absolutely beautiful to walk around in the morning. If you go on the island on a day trip, the ferry usually arrives at 10, maybe 10:30 sometimes in the weekends. That just means you miss out on the whole morning period. But in my opinion, morning might be one of the best times to explore the island, because this is when all the birds are active. If you can't hear it in the GoPro, I'm literally surrounded by bird noises. There's a saddleback just flew by there, and there are two whiteheads around here somewhere. But yeah, just certainly a sight to behold. Speaking of which, there's a bellbird just right there. Come on. There's a saddleback. It's maybe warning others about predators. In that case, that is me. But anyway, because yesterday I started my working quite late, which means I didn't have that much time to film and explore the island. I did see some takahe though. They are one of the New Zealand's endangered native animals. Think of it as like the world's rarest chicken. In this case, it's not really a chicken, but it's a swamp hen. Oh, there's a kakaliki right there. Oh my god, this is the closest I've ever been. I don't know if you can see it on GoPro, but it is literally just eating on the ground. It is a red tip as well, which means they're critically endangered. If you don't know, the yellow ones are a bit more common. Oh, it flew away. But anyway, back to the takahes. They were thought to be extinct for at least 50 years before some guy just randomly found 3 of their feathers just near a river somewhere. Through their feathers, they just managed to find an entire population. And now there are multiple conservation projects all throughout New Zealand. Here in Tiritiri, there are around 2 pairs of adults. I have seen them around, literally just around the lighthouse, because that is where people feed them. But I just didn't have any chance to use my camera because I was busy refilling the water fountains. So hopefully, today or the next few days I have left, we can see them again when I'm on my free time and hopefully get some really good footage. Returning to the visitor center after a whole morning replacing the water, I finally got to see the birds that I was looking for. Oh, there's one very close right here. The takahe, a species of swamp hen endemic to New Zealand. They were thought to be extinct until living individuals were found in an expedition in 1948. Today, their estimated population in the wild is 450 and increasing. This is thanks to the conservation efforts on multiple offshore islands like Tiritiri Matangi, making them the only places you can encounter these birds in the wild. After a lunch break at the bunkhouse, me and the other volunteer Paul went by car to the north part of the island, where we plan to do some weeding around the tracks.
Favorite part of the island?
Yeah, it's quite pretty, yeah. The northeastern part of the island is a cove. Yesterday, Paul went for a swim here, where he found a wounded shearwater in the ocean. So he got it out of the water and wrapped it with his spare hoodie. And today, we're checking in how it's doing.
Right. Good to see you.
So, was it all shaky when you found it?
Oh yeah, it was very unhappy. He must have had a fair bit of salt water probably.
Yeah. Thankfully, the shearwater's health has improved tremendously. Although it is still very weak, it is able to walk a few steps. Luckily, this island is predator-free, so hopefully it can have a speedy recovery. Okay, that is another long day of work done. We went down there, we trimmed a lot of plants so that the track are more accessible to the visitors to walk around. Paul, the other volunteer, took me to this wounded shorebird he found the other day. Basically, Paul found a wounded when he went for a swim yesterday, and it was literally shaking and it would not move. So we thought it wouldn't make it, but apparently it's still really weak, but it's a lot better today. So here's hoping that this little fella can make it to live another day. Anyway, I am a little bit dehydrated. The water ran out. So we're gonna drive back and I'll get some water, have a rest, and hopefully still have time for a walk around the island before sundown. So see you then. As the sun began to set, I left the bunkhouse and began my sunset exploration. This time, I chose to walk along a track that is in the center of the island. Rumors are that's where you can see the island's rarest animals. Exploring this island in the morning is one of the best times. But exploring this island during sunset brings a whole new different feeling, as this is when all the daytime birds are having their last meal of the day, while all the nocturnal animals are starting to wake up and becoming active. So hopefully we see something good on this walk. One thing I have to say though that is different walking here at night compared to walking in the Australian jungles at night is that here you know that nothing's gonna get you because it's just birds. So it does add a sense of security. Still, walking in the woods, in the dark, all by yourself can still get quite eerie. What I feel like right now is like one of those hunting missions in Red Dead Redemption 2. Is that when you're in the main story and when you're riding horses with some characters, you see all the wildlife out there, and then when you actually go hunting, they all seem to just disappear. Yeah, that seems to be happening right now. Let's keep going. As the sun gets lower and lower, my hope for filming any animals keeps decreasing. I'm just making my way back to the bunkhouse through a different route. On the way I hear a lot of birds, I see a lot of birds, but there it just isn't a good opportunity to film a lot of birds because it's either too dark or they are very vigilant and fly away after 2 seconds. The birds here tend to be more vigilant when the sun sets because they're non-nocturnal animals, and also most of the island's hunters, such as the mopoke, are active at night. So, which is why in the nighttime they watch out a lot more. But yeah, we'll see what we see. If nothing happens, I'm just gonna go back to the bunkhouse, make dinner, and chill, and then go to bed. Tomorrow will be another long day, so looking forward to it. See you guys tomorrow. There's a tuatara right there. It is very dark, but you can see it right here. Here's a better shot. Now, these things, they're not lizard. They're a distant family of reptiles that existed before the dinosaurs, all the way back in the Permian period. And this, the tuatara, is the last of its kind. It hasn't changed for over 200 million years. And now, it's standing right in front of me. Wow. Sorry about the lighting. I have my headlamp on. Very cool. It is my third day on the island, and of course, it starts with water trout cleaning again. So last night was awesome. It got really dark at the end and I got a little bit lost, but that tuatara made it all worth it in the end. I saw another one right after that. It was bigger, but it ran away pretty fast, so I didn't have any time to take the footage. I believe the one you on the video last night was a female because it was relatively small. If you don't know, the males are bigger than the female. And one thing about tuatara is that they actually have a third eye on the top of their head. Nobody knows what the third eye does. People believe that it was used to tell whether it's daytime or nighttime, or it's used to absorb UV light at a young age for growth. But the third eye is only visible when they're very young. As they grow up, there's actually a layer of skin that grows over the third eye, so you can't actually see it, except for a little bump on the top of their head. Either way, I am very happy that we get to see a tuatara, and I hope to see more kusap today. Oh, just 2 kakarikis just flew past me, and there is a stitchbird, female. Anyway, I'm gonna get on replacing the water troughs again, and I will see you soon. So cool. One thing I will say though, is that when you get saturated to all the bird noises, you start to hear the difference between the calls more and more. Like, difference between different bird species and difference between different kind of calls they make. Obviously I haven't stayed here long enough to tell all of them apart, but You can tell the difference between a bellbird and a saddleback, and the white-headed also sounds very different to that. It's pretty interesting once you get to know everything around here. Unfortunately, the weather does not seem to share my optimism. With the weather report showing that a storm is approaching, my trip on the island must also come to an immediate stop. Alright, so we're all packed and ready to leave. The ferry starts boarding in about 10 minutes. It takes a little bit of work to get to wharf, so I'm gonna leave pretty soon. It is a little bit sad that the trip got cut short, but it's raining quite badly outside. I don't know if you can see the water drops on the window. But yeah, I had a lot of fun doing this trip, and I love to come back and hopefully complete the entire 7-day program. We saw a lot of birds, and we saw tuatara, which is the first time for me to see one in the wild. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. And if you want, consider leaving a like and subscribe to my channel. Chenesis out.